Yo, what's going on, everybody? It is Straight Outta Boston here. Today I'm back for episode number 5 of my Boston Bruins Be a GM mode series here on NHL 16. So, with, Matt Bolesky going down with an injury, we reinserted Brett Connolly into the lineup. And then the one game he was in, we actually won 3-0, and he got a bit of a ratings boost. So, I decided to scratch Zach Rinaldo when Bolesky got back healthy. So, Rinaldo goes to the bench for a little while. We're going to give Brett Connolly some playing time. That's probably the smart move anyway. Connolly definitely a higher ceiling than Zach Rinaldo, and definitely a longer, or a better chance of staying on this team long term than Zach Rinaldo. I don't think Rinaldo's probably not going to be on this team past this season. Just not to spoil it for you guys, but as you can see, Boston already 9 points out of a playoff spot, about 40 games in, so things not looking good for their playoff chances. If they want to get back in the hunt, they got to turn it around very soon. It is not easy to make up big deficits in the NHL with the point system and with the loser points. It is just not an easy thing to do. So there you saw some of the player stats so far. The big thing has been our defense. We have not played particularly well in our own end, and we are taking on the Washington Capitals here tonight. They are also off to a bit of a slow start, a team many think could come out of the Eastern Conference this season. Well, they had been on a 7-game losing streak recently before their last game, which they won. They're 17-17-4, and you can see we have Jonas Gustafsson in net tonight, giving Tuukka Rask the night off. He will be opposed by the starting goaltender for the Capitals, Braden Holtby. And it was kind of struggling this year, 9-12 save percentage, not quite what people I think are expecting out of him this season, especially after the playoff performance that he had last season in the first 2 rounds. But anyway, here we go now. Seth Griffith carrying the puck, gives it to Spooner, one-timer through the 5-hole, and the Bruins are on the board first. It is Ryan Spooner in the third line getting it done 5 minutes into this game as Griffith feeds Spooner. That is the new third line, Bolesky, Spooner, and Griffith, and he gets the job done there, so we're up 1-0 earlier. It's Michael Latta coming in, and Jonas Gustafsson gives the goal right back. He just gift-wrapped that one right off the glove and in. That is the kind of goals that you have to expect to let up when you're going to play a backup goaltender in this game. The backup goaltenders are quite often really horrible in this. So we already know it's going to be one of those high-scoring affairs here tonight from the Garden. And also, I did lower the period length to 7 minutes this episode from 8 minutes, and I think I'm actually going to lower it down once again to 6 minutes next episode, because I found there were still too many shot attempts in this game. I'm trying to find the happy medium where there are about 60 shots on net total in a game, and last year I used to find that on about 10-minute periods, but I think this year's game is a little bit more open, a little bit faster, you know, sort of more open. I don't really know what the correct term would be for it, but it just seems like there's a higher rate of shots in this year's edition, so I do want to try and find the right period length to use. Here's Brett Connolly dancing in, tries to go top shelf, a good glove save by Braden Holtby as he keeps the game knotted at 1, 4:20 to play here in the first. McQuaid deep in the corner, it's Wilson, tried to throw that one in front of Backstrom, but he couldn't. Actually, I'm not sure if that was Backstrom. That was one of their left-handed centers, but either way, he could not quite put it home. And then a nice opportunity there in front, but nothing goes. So we are going to end off the first period. The score remains 1-1 as the Bruins and Capitals, maybe a little bit of an underrated rivalry, I would argue, over the past couple of years. Really, ever since that playoff series they had, where it went 7 games and all the games were decided by 1 goal. A bunch of them went to overtime. Joel Ward had the game winner in Game 7 in the Garden. I really think this has been kind of an underrated rivalry. I don't know. It seems like every time the Bruins play the Capitals, there's always fights. This preseason, Tom Wilson fought Adam McQuaid twice in 1 game, and there's always a lot of chippiness between these teams. So I don't know. And I kind of like the Capitals. I'm rooting for them this year. I want Ovechkin to try and get a ring. I think he deserves it. I guess, do you get rings in hockey, or do you just get a cup? I guess I should just say I want Ovechkin to get a cup, but you know what I mean. Anyway, here's Pasternak. Sort of gets a lucky goal there, but he really should have jammed home that rebound opportunity, so sort of got unlucky at first, and then, you know, we're rewarded for the good opportunity. But here we go. Washington answering right back once again. This was initially ruled no goal. We're going to take a look at the replay. You can see Wilson's shot kind of goes off of Brooks Lake there, and they would rule this a good goal. So I'm not sure. I guess they initially thought it might have gone off his skate, but if it just goes off his body part, there is nothing illegal about that. Actually, there's really nothing illegal about it going off the skate anymore, but of course NHL doesn't update the rules, so we still have that dumb rule in this game. But, oh well, Gustafsson with a nice save there. We're still knotted up at 2 here midway through the second. Backstrom's got a good opportunity, but another nice glove save by Gustafsson, who was playing pretty well early on in this game. We'll see if he can continue it. But here's Krejci with the puck now as he got the feed from Marchand. One-timer to Pasternak, and that one was saved. Now, early in this game, I did switch up my lines a little bit. I believe I started playing Eriksson and Pasternak with Krejci, and then I moved Connolly. No, I still have Connolly in the bottom 6. I think I moved Hayes to the Marchand-Bergeron line, and those worked pretty well. I liked those line combinations. You can see Connolly with the nice goal here, sort of just tucks that one in off the skate of Holtby and then bangs the glass with the celly, doing the Ovechkin there a little bit. Connolly, I don't think you're quite as good as Alex Ovechkin, but oh well. Here's Matt Irwin now off the face-off, top shelf, great snipe right there by Matt Irwin, who I don't think, well, he's barely been playing for the Bruins this year. He's actually down in Providence, but he did have 2 goals in the preseason, and, you know, does have some offensive ability. This was a nice shot. Holtby just wasn't guarding the top shelf with the pad there. So we have a 4-2 lead now off the ensuing faceoff. It's going to be a win for the third line. Ryan Spooner bringing it up. Spooner's going to look cross-crease here. No, he'll go behind the net, or try to. Gives this one off to Bolesky behind the net. Back to Spooner. Scored 3 straight goals in less than 5 minutes here for the Bruins. They've opened up a 5-2 lead. The offense has come alive here in the third. That was a simple cross-crease right there. Nice play by Spooner to hold the puck along the boards, get it to Bolesky, who had tons of open space, and then, you know, great job again by Spooner to get back in front of the net, park himself there, and, you know, make himself available for the one-timer. This was great tic-tac-toe passing, though, as Washington trying to get back in it. This is, I believe, Ovechkin to Oshie to Backstrom here. This was a really nice play, I thought, and Backstrom just tucks that one in. Makes it 5-3. So later in the third, about 5 minutes in or so, Spooner, great dance moves right there, and a nice glove save by Holtby to rob Spooner. That was an impressive move. But here we go. Now it's the Capitals carrying it up, and in front to Jay Beagle, but a nice save by Gustafsson, who, like I said, had a pretty good game early on here, and it is Marchand with the puck, and you guys know this is my go-to move, and I go top shelf. Marchand with goal number 6 on the evening for the Bruins as we got our lead back up to 3, but here come the Capitals. It's Ovechkin, one-timer score. That is the Ovechkin shot. I'm sure my buddy Keegan is not watching this video, but if he is, which I doubt he is, but if he is definitely going to love that. That is the classic Ovechkin right there, right from the slot, one-timer. Usually does that on the power play there. He does it 5-on-5, but here we go now. Another opportunity with the fourth line. It's Talbot with the puck. He's going to come into the net, and this one somehow gets in. I don't really quite know how, even on the replay. I couldn't really tell how this made it into the net, but that is just one of those, you know, those gritty fourth-line goals, as I'm sure people will would like to characterize that as. But good goal by Talbot. We're back up by 3. But of course, the scoring couldn't stop there. This was a softie led in by Gustafsson. You got to make this save. This was a simple shot from Kuznetsov. I think that might have gone 5-hole. But now, well, that opens up the empty net, so we've got an opportunity to add one final goal. And of course, just for good measure, I'm going to do it with Jimmy Hayes, the Dorchester native, on the assist from Bergeron. 8-5, 13 goals in this game. Pretty ridiculous stuff, but that would be the final score. This game is over. Final score of 8-5. Pretty ridiculous offensive numbers there. But like I said, we knew from the get-go when Gustafsson was in net, we were going to have to score a lot tonight if we wanted to win. And like I said, I thought Gustafsson played well up until the third period, but he really started to not play well in the final 20 minutes. But then again, you know, our defense sort of let him down. I mean, can't really blame him for letting that Ovechkin shot go in, or that Backstrom shot on the tic-tac-toe play. But anyway, despite getting outshot 39-32, we do pick home the victory. Spooner, McQuaid, and Torrey Krug are your first 3 stars. I can't believe McQuaid had 2 assists. But that is going to do it. Hope you guys did enjoy. Thanks for watching, and I'm out. Peace.